What's up, everybody? It's Aaron and Ray again, back with another episode of Franchise Tagged Fantasy Football Podcast. Hope you guys are really enjoying the new overlay. I know that we are, along with all of the new cool features as far as layouts and logos and stuff that we got done. We're back again. We are actually recording on Friday, August the 27th. I'm going to be moving. We normally record on Sundays, so this weekend isn't going to work out for us. So we're recording a little bit early. Hope that's not a problem for you guys. But other than that, please be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, give us a follow, spread the word. Fantasy football starting back up. Can't wait. I actually have a draft on Saturday that comes in my busy weekend moving schedule. But how are you doing, Ray?
Oh, fan-freaking-tastic.
It's Friday.
Just when you say that you have a draft this weekend, it's just like, it brings joy to my life knowing that A, fantasy football's back, and B, you're going to shit the bed in that draft. It's a two-part plus for me.
So you think that I'm going to do bad?
I actually said that you were going to toss fecal matter in that bed, but please continue.
Yeah, so that means that I'm going to do very, very bad.
Yes.
But no, it's a 12-team full point PPR, so should be pretty not easy. But I'm drafting out of the 2-hole, so
funny that you have two.
I have 2 drafts in the 2-hole. I know. I got
That's
it. Yep.
weird.
I can show you the Facebook Live video of where it got drafted, where he pulled names, a random name generator. But I'm not to commission it. No tampering. I'm not that way. But anyways, got a question for you.
Sure.
I'm doing quick question of the day. When you're, outside, because holiday weekend's coming up, it's going to be Labor Day. I'm actually going to be at your house.
Yeah.
But when we do, holiday weekends and people are cooking
here
up
in the Thunderdome,
when people are cooking up, burgers, hot dogs, brats.
Yeah.
Are you a mayonnaise, mustard, or ketchup kind of guy?
One, you can miss me every time with mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is the most disgusting thing that has ever been created by humankind. Literally.
Okay.
Literally.
Literally?
Right. Literally.
Okay.
Probably just mustard and ketchup. And, you can hit me that
Both?
pickles sometimes. Oh, yeah.
Both? Oh, yeah.
I'm
a must have pickles on hamburgers. It gives it that nice, crunchy little taste to it.
I actually just like eating my pickles on the side.
Really?
Not in my burger. Yeah, I'll take them out of every burger that I get, eat them, and then eat my burger. Because I like the taste of pickles.
That's fair. That's fair.
Preach the good word.
But yes, I am in agreement with you that it is both mustard and ketchup.
And you can miss me with mayonnaise every time.
I'll do mayonnaise every once in a while.
No, that's disgusting.
I mean, mayonnaise and ketchup is just fancy sauce, bro.
I just like to lie to myself and think that it's just a different variant of ketchup.
It's a whole different sauce.
It's not even considered. We don't even talk about mayonnaise in this house.
No mayonnaise in this house. No mayonnaise in this house. Well, let us know what you guys think. If you're opposite of Ray and just love mayonnaise, let him know. Let them know your love. Probably should have mentioned this at the top of the show, but I didn't. We are going to give a couple sleepers that we both kind of like and nominate as sleepers. Not necessarily because, everyone's sleeping on them, but maybe more because, they're going a little bit later in drafts, and maybe you should look at them in, this round or that round.
Think this could be, that's pretty much it. People that are sleeping on these dudes.
Yeah, but,
accurate.
We've talked about this earlier this week when we were discussing the episode. The fantasy football industry is so big now that normally, sleepers are actually, like you said, people that are getting slept on, but you've probably heard all these names multiple times by now if you pay attention to more than one or two podcasts.
I've mentioned them a couple times already.
That's fair. That is fair. I normally snag one of them up in drafts. And then after that, go ahead.
I'm basically setting myself up for failure for our fantasy draft. That's what I'm doing.
That's
like, hey guys.
So we do have friends that are friends in our keeper league that they do listen to the show and they like to give us crap behind the scenes.
They say they're friends.
Wow. But at the same time, it kind of guys that we're high on or guys that we like are doing all these mock drafts kind of give up a little bit of strategy where they're kind of like, I brought up the 2019 draft to Ruben the other day when we were talking.
Great friend of the show, Ruben.
He had our first inaugural keeper league draft. He had the 3 spot. I had the 4. He took Aaron Jones in front of me that year. Then come back around, he took Mark Ingram in front of me. And I don't know if you guys know this, but that was Mark Ingram's great year in Baltimore. Then 2 rounds later, he took another person right in front of me before my pick, and he calls himself the Sniper King. So it still hurts. And he won the championship that year, by the way, with 3 of the players that I really, really wanted.
I like to think about that year.
It is what it is.
Just erase it from my memory.
He won the
mayonnaise.
first ever championship, so congratulations, Ruben. Your name was the first on the trophy, but it's probably not going to come back for a long time. Anyways, yeah, so we kind of give up tips and tricks. But you want to start the sleepers? Or you want me to start the sleepers?
I'll start it off. So, I want to talk about one guy that I'm sure that has been popping up on your guys' recent feeds and the, like Aaron said, the big fantasy football, as one would say. Russell Gage, guy that you guys got to be looking at late in your drafts. I'm talking about round 13, flyer territory. But in our drafts, sometimes he's not even getting drafted. If it weren't for us, he wouldn't even be getting drafted in these mock drafts we're doing. So what I wanted to talk about was the vacated targets from Julio Jones last year, which was paltry because it was only 62. Because he was hurt, he only played 9 games. But Julio Jones is a 90 to 100 reception kind of guy, 80 to 90 reception to 100 reception kind of guy. Every season he's been with Atlanta. Now he's gone. And those vacated targets got to go somewhere. Now you saw Russell Gage had 72 targets to his name last season with 700 yards. As we said before, the second year of somebody getting into a system is usually when they start to blossom out, usually start to pan out a little more. And I think that Russell Gage is in line to have a pretty sizable workload. Now, this is saying that, Kyle Pitts isn't going to eat into that workload too much. I don't think it's going to happen to be like he's going to get all of Julio's targets. You know what I mean? So just a name to think about. Definitely a guy that you should be taking a shot on late in drafts because, who else is there in round 13? Almost nobody. A bag of buns.
I got a couple. But I would agree with you. That, yeah, late in drafts, it could be a good steal, especially for someone who's coming into the system as a number 2, who, like you said, had a plethora of targets last year.
Yeah.
First up for me, I was on the fence between a couple of them. First up for me is going to be Henry Ruggs. Not necessarily that he's a sleeper, right? Everyone kind of knows who Henry Ruggs is, but strictly for his ADP, because he is going in that, 11th, 12th, 13th round, normally more to the 12th and 13th round. That's normally who I look for to target right there, is him or like Corey Davis. But
Funny you say that.
But I think, as you said, second year in the system, second year wide receiver, speed guy, not necessarily going to be a huge possession guy, but being able to take the tops off of defenses if he gets free. Derek Carr is actually really accurate on the long ball as well. So it kind of helps into that. So just be kind of paying attention and looking at Henry Ruggs. He could be a really, really good steal late in drafts.
Yeah, and something else to talk about Henry Ruggs that he definitely packed on a few pounds this offseason. He's been working on his route running, some camp news, I guess you could say, but you got to take it for a grain of salt. It's John Gruden, so he's just going to be hyping up everybody all the time. The gas man himself.
That is fair. Secondly,
my next one. I'll give it up. I'll give up the cookies.
Okay.
Corey Davis.
Hey,
Corey Davis
just brought him up.
Needs to be drafted. I'm telling you. Zach Wilson wants to throw him the ball 100,000 times, and I would like a little bit of that somewhere. You say if you're in like that 16-man league, you got Corey Davis super late, man, you're probably going to have if he has 100 receptions. Let's say he has 100 receptions. His floor has to be at a back-end receiver too, with 100 receptions. Has to be. There's no way it doesn't pan out that way, unless he gets hurt. But I just don't see a way where somebody would get peppered that many times and not have a high ceiling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, the sun started to go down here. I gotta adjust my camera. Continue to talk, please, sir.
As the de facto number 1 in that offense as well, I understand that I'm not super high on Zach Wilson. I'm not. He's to this point, even right now, hasn't really played against starters yet in the preseason. I know he's getting all this hype saying that he's looking the best. He hasn't played against any starters. He's played against backups the entire preseason, whereas Justin Fields and Trey Lance and Trevor Lawrence have played against starters for a little bit. So just a little something to remember. But Corey Davis is definitely a guy I'm trying to target at the end of drafts.
Yeah, I would agree. I know it looked like I wasn't paying attention, but I was listening to you. Yeah, but like you said, Zach Wilson reminds me of BYU, right? Didn't really play very much talent, but looked really good against mediocre opponents. But yeah, I'm ready to see him in the beginning of the year against actual first team defenses.
Yeah.
A guy I'm going to bring up, everyone is kind of tracking on this person now. And he was probably in contention before it happened for the sleeper episode, but now that Jameis has been named the starter and Michael Thomas is out, Marquez Callaway, undrafted out of Tennessee last year. But he's going to be a guy who you're going to want to draft. He might not continue the whole season, but at least for the first half of the season, everyone's sleeping on him. You can literally, I picked him up in the last few mock drafts we've done in the 15th round with my last pick. But he's one of those guys who could, see 10 to 12 targets a game in the beginning of the year, which could translate into, wide receiver, 1 or 2 territory for the first few weeks of the season. If you need to, possibly trade him high. And then if you dodge the bullet right before Michael Thomas comes back. If not, if you traded him a little bit earlier and he's doing well, you're at least going to get something back for him.
You know what? I couldn't be further off of wanting Michael Thomas for so many different reasons. How bad he burned me last season. How many times
you have the hate for him.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
The hate, the dislike for him.
As somebody that was really high on Michael Thomas too, like the biggest truther.
Did you keep him?
I did.
Rough.
I did. Yeah.
But yeah,
less than ideal.
Pay attention to that. He should get peppered with targets, and Jameis isn't afraid to push the ball, so it'll be all right. I do have a couple honorable mentions. I know you're not high on one of them, but Tua Tagovailoa. He's looking like he's going to be able to push the ball down the field this year, which is something that I was worried about. I don't really ever see him getting drafted, but luckily today we're doing a super flex league, so we might see him go off the board. But yeah, he's one. And then even though he has inconsistencies, MVS did show strides forward last year. Marquez Valdez-Scantling for the Green Bay Packers, and this will be his third year starting.
Yeah,
third or fourth? Third.
I think it's third.
It took Devontae 3 years to get going. So hopefully Marquez will take a giant leap forward. Obviously Randall Cobb's back, but I don't see him playing the outside number 2 role. So I think that's still going to be MVS. But yeah.
To kind of piggyback on what you just said, Tua is the mayonnaise of quarterbacks, so no thanks. Anyways, I'd also like to talk about a little bit of news, throw that in there because we probably should have started with that. Sony Michel going to the Rams. I think that's a big move. That's a big move we got to talk about.
Fair, that did happen between last episode now, huh? I think it happened on Tuesday, didn't it?
It did, I think
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
We always drop an episode. Breaking news always comes out later.
So I think me and Aaron were talking about it earlier, and I think Sony is probably the 1B in that offense. But what it really does is kind of hurts Darrell Henderson's outlook, I think, the most. More than it does make Sony Michel relevant. I think that they just kind of just unrelevant to themselves.
Do you remember back in the day? Do you remember back in the day with the Olympics when old girl broke other old girl's leg on the ice skating, the figure skating and stuff? They literally both walked up to each other with a baseball bat and kneecapped each other.
Yeah.
That's all they did.
The old kneecap trick.
But yeah, because Henderson was poised to, have
relevancy.
At least 190 carries, not to mention targets, and now Sony will eat into those carries. I think Sony gets anywhere from, we were talking about it, I said I didn't want to spoil it all, but I think Sony gets anywhere from 120 to 150 actual carries.
Yeah, and probably some targets too.
Yeah,
he was a pass catching back in college.
That was my point. So I think that where you go from Darrell Henderson having 260 total touches in that offense, total touches.
No, I understand. I just
think that's
too
low?
because No, because Darrell Henderson sucks, so that's why. Because really, it's all about the fact that I lost Cam Akers. Let's talk about my hurt for a second, Aaron. Let's talk about my feelings, okay?
I don't care about your hurt or feelings. He was on your roster. You were gonna keep him, and then all of a sudden you don't have him anymore.
Yeah, I got kneecap.
You can keep him, put him on your IR slot all year.
I've thought about it. It's a consideration.
Honestly, you could. I mean, it's something you could do.
I was kneecapped. That's who it was. It
That's
was
fair.
me.
But anyways, I think instead of that, they kind of cap each other and cut each other in the middle where, there's probably 300 total touches for the Rams backfield, 330 total touches for the Rams backfield. They're going to split that almost evenly with who was Xavier
Rhodes, right? No. Yes.
No, something like that. Anyways, with whoever the third and fourth string dudes are right now.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're getting a few touches in there, for whatever. But yeah, so I think that they've hurt each other. Anyways, are we done with that?
Couple more things. Just throw it out real fast. Teddy Bridgewater is a starter in Denver, so I think that probably bolsters Jerry Jeudy's stock. Probably bolsters Noah Fant's stock a little bit.
I agree. Everyone that we've talked to say Teddy Bridgewater isn't that great, isn't that good. He supported 3 top 25. Half point format, 3 top 25 wide receivers last year, which is pretty good. They didn't really have the touchdown upside, but if you can get some stuff with a stout Denver defense like they're going to have, or you have more drives and more opportunities for touchdowns, I think the touchdowns will go up. And yeah. And
then, like you said, Jameis Winston is the starter, I guess, in New Orleans. But I'm still hesitant to say that he's going to be the 100% starter. I still think it's going to be split. I really do.
Yeah,
and why would they pay Taysom that much money to just sit
because
around?
They messed up.
They made a mistake.
Everyone's allowed a couple.
Everybody's getting kneecapped.
Everyone's allowed a couple. But anyways, are you about ready to get into... I don't think there's any other news, is there?
DeAndre Swift is hurt again. Jamal Williams is taking reps with the ones. Might be something to take a look at. Maybe super, super late in drafts, maybe. But that's about it. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I pretty much got too. So you ready to draft this 12-team half-point Superflex?
Hell yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Superflex, you have the option to put a quarterback in your flex spot. So technically, you're going to play 2 quarterbacks because if you don't draft a quarterback, because normally they score the most points on a week, normally, not always, Alvin Kamara on Christmas with his 6 touchdown game.
You don't say.
But yeah, so normally you get to put 2 quarterbacks in there. So let's go ahead and get this draft board up here, my guy.
Alvin Kamara having 6 touchdowns was news to me right now. I don't remember that at all.
Oh, I think you might have probably played against him that week, huh?
It's like I saw it
Kevin.
firsthand.
There was one week I needed to beat Kevin, and then all of a sudden, before I knew it, I blinked and Alvin Kamara had 40 points.
Kevin, you're a real lucky duck.
And I lost. Good job, Kevin. Good job. Thanks for putting him. Well, you didn't get to put him back in the draft pool. He's going back anyways. But oh yeah, happy belated birthday. Wait, I'm gonna switch screens back. Happy belated birthday to you, Kevin. I know we told you in the chat, but here it is on YouTube.
I already said it to you, so I'm not saying it again.
Wow, rude. All right, anyways, you ready? You ready to start this?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, we have a 12-team half-point super flex. As you can see, it literally says super flex right here. I'm drafted from the 4. Ray's drafted from the 9. If you guys have never seen a super flex, the whole super flex double quarterback, really, quarterbacks start going early. So let's kick it off. Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry. I'm on the clock. We were just talking about him. I do believe that he is going to be really, really great. So I am going to take Alvin Kamara at the 4.
He's going to be good at football.
Oh, you don't say. Anyways, Jonathan Taylor, Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley at the 1-7. Then Ray's boy Nick Chubb went 1 pick before him. What are you doing here, Ray?
Taking Aaron Jones.
Hey, taking Aaron Jones. Then Tyreek Hill's first. Devontae Adams, Austin Eckler, D-Hop, Najee Harris, Calvin Ridley. Ray, you're back on the clock. Are you doing it? Are you doing what I think you're going to do?
I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, second round, first quarterback off the board. Ray's going to take Patty Mahomes. There we go. It comes through. Then Stephon Diggs, then Travis Kelce, then DK, then Joe Mixon. I'm back on the clock. He failed to me, and I'm not going to pass this up. I still have him. I know there are a few other receivers, but starting running back, and this is going to be pretty good for me. Antonio Gibson is who I took. Then Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, David Montgomery, Keenan Allen, Darren Waller. I could start a third running back. I could go for a first wide receiver, but I'm going to take that last premium tight end there. I'm going to take George Kittle right there at the 3-4, then J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs, Allen Robinson, Josh Allen off the board. Were you trying to double up on quarterback, top two?
You better believe I was.
You guys can't see it. I wish we could pull it up on the screen, but Ray's face during that, I looked over to my screen, and he gave a big old fist bump of despair because that's who he really, really wanted to take.
Damn. I thought I was going to be coming up. So I got to decide between, well, I guess I don't really have a whole lot of decisions here. I think it's going to have to be Terry McLaurin, and he's going to have to pan out for me. Terry McLaurin went to me.
He might. So then DeAndre Swift, Chris Carson, CeeDee Lamb, Chris Godwin, Miles Sanders, Mike Evans, and now back to Ray.
And it's funny that Darrell Henderson is still sitting there.
He is.
In the wait.
He is, but so are a few other people.
Probably not going to draft Darrell Henderson in the fourth. I guess then I have to go with Kareem Hunt because he won't make it back to me.
Okay. So in that situation, Ray, you have what is that, like 14 or 15 picks? 14 picks to come back to you?
Yeah.
So you just kind of took who you said. Like you said, I don't think he's going to come back to me. So I feel that. I'm going to go ahead and lock in who I think is going to be a top 10 wide receiver this year, probably finishing at the 10, but that's still pretty good. I'm going to take Amari Cooper here. Then Lamar Jackson, Cooper Kupp. What's up?
I was going to read it, but go ahead.
Lamar Jackson, Cooper Kupp, Kyle Pitts, Adam Thielen, Myles Gaskin, DJ Moore. I could take Tyler Lockett here, who I've been scooping up in all the drafts, but like I said, this is a 2-quarterback league. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it. It'll be the 5th quarterback off the board. I do like his upside, and I do want to pair him with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb because I think they're going to throw quite a few touchdowns this year. I'm going to take Dak Prescott as my first quarterback in the 5th round.
Man, come on. This draft is really hurting my feelings. Right after you took Dak Prescott, Mark Andrews went Justin Sherbet, DeAndre Jobs-Johnson, TJ Hawkinson, and I'm back on the clock. So, let me take a look. I'm probably going to grab... Oh, look. A guy that I would like to stay as far away from as possible, Kenny Gallaudet, is still on the clock.
Yeah?
Kenny Gallaudet is
now that you bring that up, I am kind of cooling on Kenny Gallaudet. I know we had that bet at the beginning of the year, but with him being injured through camp and Daniel Jones not looking like he took the step forward, it's bad. And you took Tyler Lockett, who I was hoping you would overlook and he would make it back to me.
But I was really hoping that Mike Davis or Aaron Rodgers would make it back to me, and neither did. I can't see the edge of the screen here, so you guys read that.
So after you took Tyler Lockett, Mike Davis went Javonte Williams, Chase Edmonds, Kenny Gallaudet, T. Higgins, and then Aaron Rodgers. Now Ray is back on the clock.
And since Travis Etienne is hurt, I will be taking James Robinson. Another thing we should have talked about during the show. We did. Etienne is hurt. I forgot about that. Yeah, I completely forgot about it. James Robinson is now the insto facto starter, and in the 6th round, I think that's pretty good value.
That's all right. Then OBJ goes, then Brandon Ayuk, who I kind of wish would have made back to me. Then Russell Wilson, team 6, back-to-back quarterbacks. Then Jamar Chase, who I think possibly, is being drafted a little too high. If he fell a few rounds or more, I don't know, I might take him if he falls to me. Looking at running backs, there's really nothing that I see here that I want. I think I might have messed up going tight end early and quarterback in the 5th. But right here, let's see. Are there running backs here? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to get my 3rd running back. I'm going to take Raheem Mostert for my 3rd running back to just seal off the deal. Then Chase Claypool, Michael Thomas. That's something we should probably talk about. Where are you going to draft Michael Thomas, if at all?
No, I'm not drafting him at all.
Okay.
And it's not just because I'm not just because he burned me so bad, but that has something to do with it. But it is the fact that he has another lingering issue. News has come out that he's not on the same page as the staff in New Orleans. There's a rift there, and I don't want any part of what I got last season, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine. Looking at this draft now, I'm really already telling you I'm not liking the fact that I took Prescott in the 5th. I wish I would have waited around and taken, let them fall and tried to get Rodgers, Wilson, Brady, Stafford, something like that to fall back to me, because now I would have much rather had Deontay Johnson, Tyler Lockett, or T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk right here, even Chase Claypool, which I could have taken, but I took Mostert instead. I should have ran the gamble, but now I'm going to take Robbie Anderson as my wide receiver 2. Don't know how I really feel about that. I do like him, think he'll be okay, but I don't know how I feel about it. Anyways, your thoughts,
so
Raymond.
After you took Robbie Anderson, Damian Harris went Noah Fant, Ronald Jones, DJ Chark, and I am on the clock, 7-9. And I have a choice between taking Michael Carter, Trey Sermon, Deebo Samuel, Devonta Smith, Tyler Boyd, which I still think is going to have 100 receptions. Jarvis Landry still on the clock. Brandon Cooks is still there.
I want nothing to do with that.
Dallas Goedert's around, I guess. But I think that I'm going to go with Tyler Boyd.
Okay, I see you. Then Leonard Fournette, then Deebo Samuel, Dallas Goedert, Tom Brady, Zach Moss, Devontae Smith, and Ray is now back on the clock again.
And Michael Carter made it back to me, but I don't know if I want to take that to the bank. So I'm going to go ahead and take Matt Stafford.
Okay. So your second quarterback for your super flex there you got.
Yep.
Trey Sermon, Tannehill, Hurts. You know what really hurts my feelings is that those last 3 quarterbacks that just went would have been my last 3 choices. So now I'm going to just basically wait on my second super flex. As you said, Michael Carter did come back. I'm looking at receiver, though, because I'm a little thin.
Yes.
Jarvis Landry, Jalen Waddell. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take LaVisca right now. Is that who you were saying don't do it to?
Kind of.
What do you mean kind of? It's either yes or no.
Kind
Running
of.
a gamble here. So LaVisca, then Michael Carter, then Robert Tonyan, Joe Burrow, David Johnson, Trevor Lawrence, A.J. Dillon, who's also a good pick that always seemingly goes right before me, just went. And then right here, I'm going to take Curtis Samuel. Like I said, he was a top 25 wide receiver last year, just like his former teammate Robbie Anderson. So I'm going to double up on both of those guys. Then Jarvis Landry goes, Logan Thomas goes, Will Fuller goes, who does have a 1-game suspension still, Kenyon Drake, and now it's back to you, Ray. And why did you say don't do it? Is the player that you said don't do it still there?
No, not anymore.
Who was it?
It was Laviska Shenault.
Ray just looks defeated, guys. I wish you could see it. You want me to switch back here? Look at him. He looks so defeated right now. He's upset. True. Oh, wrong screen. Sorry, guys. Second monitor. There we go.
It is true. So, I got to really make a choice here.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything that I'm seeing at all.
No?
Nope.
Walk us through it. Who are you seeing that you don't like?
It's between Tyler Higbee. Do I take Corey Davis right now? Do I make that move? I feel like I have a lot of lower end pieces on my team here, but maybe the volume will be there. I'm going to go ahead and take Tyler Higbee. I don't know if he make it back to me again. I don't really want Mike Gesicki because there's so many mouths to feed there that Tua doesn't have the ability to do. So I'm going to take Tyler Higbee.
Okay. Then Jalen Waddle, Corey Davis, Mike Williams, James Conner, Michael Pittman Jr., Antonio Brown. I know you're shaking your head at Corey Davis right now. I knew he wouldn't make it through the 10th round to you. So I was hoping Antonio Brown might slip there for me, but he did not. So,
boy,
now, boy.
if this draft could go worse for me, let me know. Put it down in the comments, guys. Now my choices are between Darnell Mooney, Henry Ruggs, Marvin Jones is still there, I think.
Mhm.
Russell Gage is still out there.
Mm-hmm.
Probably gonna have to stamp my flag on him because you're here and you're probably not gonna let him come back to me. So I'm
What do
gonna
you
have
mean,
to go
bro?
and take Russell Gage if I could get to him. Nope,
What do you
didn't wanna do
mean?
that.
He might come back to you. You don't know.
If I could get to his name,
All you gotta do is type it and find a player, bruv.
that I could do that too, I guess.
Look, you figured it out.
There.
Russell Gage, then Mike Gesicki, Devin Singletary, Gus Edwards. I was really hoping he would come back to me right here. I do believe that he will still be involved for a good, roughly probably 10 points a game. But he did not quite make it back. 2 picks before. That's who I was really, really, really hoping would come back as far as running backs go. So he was going to be my fourth and final one that I would want to take. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and... Man, this is a tough situation, right? Why did we decide to do another mock? There's
Things
still
got
awesome
thin
people
quick.
out here. They get real thin real quick, especially in 12-team formats.
What are you thinking here, Ian?
Don't know because I have okay wide receivers right now. I'm gonna plant my flag on Henry Ruggs that he takes a step forward. Then Marquise Brown, Naeem Hines, Michael Gallup, Tony Pollard, McCole Hardman, Marvin Jones. So yeah, I'm gonna plant my flag on Henry Ruggs just to kind of see what happens here. But man, like, what do we got? We got
Marvin Jones falling to the 11th is
4
great
picks after
value.
this one. I need a running back, a legit need a. I don't know, man. There's not really much of anything out there left. I think running back's just over. I think I'm just going into it with 3. You know what I mean?
I think I know what you mean.
So here I'm going to take. What do we got here? Cool. We're good if I do this. I'm going to take Darnell Mooney. Plays opposite Allen Robinson. I was hoping Jamal Williams might fall back, and I was thinking about taking him next round if he did, but he didn't. But anyways, the football team goes first defense off the board. Jamal Williams, Irv Smith Jr., Philip Lindsay. Now Ray is on the board.
And again, it's like this computer knows what I want. So I really wanted Philip Lindsay or Jamal Williams to make it to me, and neither did. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Crazy. So I'm kind of torn right now.
Okay.
Elijah Moore is still there. Sterling Shepard, the talk out of camp is that he's been pretty lights out. MVS is still out there. Van Jefferson's still there. But not a lot of names that I really want to take a shot on. I think running back is actually over.
Yeah, now you're looking at handcuffs, and that's it.
Yeah. And I think that Ramondre Stevenson is definitely a name to consider. Chuba Hubbard is still there. Latavius Murray is still there. I'm going to take a shot on Chuba Hubbard and hope that something pans out. I'm not hoping injury. I'm saying that.
Then Ravens, Bills, Baker Mayfield, the Steelers, Elijah Moore, Trey Lance right before you if you were going to try to pocket him, Ray.
Nope.
He just went.
But
so, go ahead. What's up?
Now I'm going to take Justin Fields. The only time that something came back to me this draft, Justin Fields.
You're going into this with 3 quarterbacks?
Yes.
Holy crap. Well, I'm glad you took my second quarterback off the board, which would have been Justin Fields. Then the Rams go, then Devontae Parker, then the Buccaneers, then Matt Ryan. And I feel like you only took Justin Fields to do that specifically to me.
No, I took Justin Fields because if it pans out, he starts, and I need to have somebody, and or I could use him as a trade piece.
Don't ever draft anyone to trade them people. Just do it. I'm just telling you that right now. Don't ever draft anybody to trade people. I'm going to go with my second quarterback for the Superflex of Ryan Fitzpatrick. The man slings the ball. And at this point in time, I'm stringing him in my second quarterback anyway, so why not have someone who has the potential to give you 50 points? Then the Broncos and the Niners and Hunter Henry, then T.Y. Hilton, Latavius Murray, Nelson Aguilar. Now it's back to me. Anything left on the running back front? I mean, we're in deep long shot keepers anyways. I'm drafting them now because I don't think... No, I'm not going to. I'll drop him. I'm going to draft Ramondre Stevenson. If he doesn't pan out after week 1 or 2 and get touches, he's just going to get dropped back to the pool anyways. Then Cole Beasley, Rashad Bateman, the Patriots D, Alexander Madison now raised on the clock.
I think I'm just going to go and take J.D. McKissick. And
he was in consideration for me, but I have Antonio Gibson, so I don't want the other part of the backfield. Evan Ingram, Jonnu Smith, Adam Troutman, Kenneth Gainwell, Kirk Cousins, Jared Cook, and now Ray's back again on the quick turn.
And now it's time to go take a look at defense.
Are you going to take the Colts?
Yeah, I might as well because the Colts are there.
Yep. The Colts, Rondell Moore, Jalen Reagor, Tevin Coleman, Rashad Penny, who really knows if that's going to happen or not. So, for me, now, I kind of want to take 3 quarterbacks, but at the same time, I kind of don't.
I only took 3 because it is a super flex. If that's the case, if it's not a super flex, I only take 1.
That is fair.
Maybe two, but really only 1. There's too many. There's more valuable pieces we could get. And when I say that I could potentially move one of these quarterbacks, it's if something pans out and I have a need and somebody else has a need, I have pieces to do so.
Nope. I'm going to do it just to see. I'm going to take Sony Michel. I probably should have taken another receiver, but I'm going to take Sony Michel there. Then the Cleveland Browns, then Tua Tagovailoa, then Gerald Everett. And I'm not going to draft a defense. I'm punting the defensive position too. And I'm drafting my dude that I was talking about, Marquez Callaway. Chances are before the season started, before week 1, I would end up I'd probably end up dropping Ramondre Stevenson and picking up a defense. It'd be one of Ramondre Stevenson or Sony Michel and picking up a defense. But want to see what happens. More news out of camp since the season is still, 3 weeks away roughly. But anyways, what's up with you? What are you doing here?
So Jacoby Myers made it all the way back to me, and I think that he might be the move to make.
Oh yeah, I thought about taking Mac Jones with my last pick.
Yeah, he's been looking pretty good. I don't think Randall Cobb is going to have a viable enough part of this offense in Green Bay. Brian Edwards has not shown anything that I care about yet. So I'm going to take Jacoby Myers.
And then Devontae Booker, Austin Hooper, and that one's Damian Williams, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Damian, not Daryl. Daryl's still with the Chiefs, isn't he? I believe so.
But he's hurt too.
Yeah, a lot of people are hurt. So my team goes Alvin Kamara, Antonio Gibson, and then Raheem Mostert, Ramondre Stevenson, Sony Michel, followed up by Amari Cooper, Robbie Anderson, Laviska Shenault, Curtis Samuel, Henry Ruggs. Sorry, my dog just barked. Or not barked, but sneezed. Darnell Mooney, Marquez Callaway. Then I have George Kittle as a tight end with Dak Prescott and Ryan Fitzpatrick for quarterback in the Superflex spot. Ray, who do you have?
Wow. This is not a team I'm super pumped about, but my running backs are Aaron Jones, Kareem Hunt, James Robinson, Chuba Hubbard, and J.D. McKissick. My receivers are Terry McLaurin, Tyler Lockett, Tyler Boyd, Russell Gage, and Jacoby Myers. My quarterbacks being Patrick Mahomes, Matt Stafford, and Justin Fields. My tight end being Tyler Higbee, and my defense being the Colts, and which I'm probably going to drop them after week 1.
Yeah. I do want to point out here that I took 2 normally onesie positions in the tight end and quarterback. I know it is a super flex. So theoretically, if I'm going to take a premium tight end, I should have taken 2 later quarterbacks like Stafford and Tannehill, somewhere between Russell Wilson and Jalen Hurts. I should have waited for my quarterbacks there, if that makes sense. And I think my team would look overall better if I could go back and do it over again. Yeah. What about you? Any changes
Maybe I
you should make?
Maybe I would have waited and not drafted Patrick Mahomes, but because it's super flex, and if I compare Patrick Mahomes with what we think Matt Stafford's going to be, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's going to win a lot of games just off of that tandem alone.
It's not bad, but like I said, super flexes are weird. Quarterbacks go early. 2 quarterback leagues are weird too, where quarterbacks go early. But just remember, if you're going to pay up for a tight end, you're going to have to take a loss in a little bit later of a quarterback, or vice versa. If you take an early quarterback like Ray did, you're probably going to have to take a loss in the tight end spot, which I do like Tyler Higbee. I don't think that's a bad pick for you there. But yeah, just a few things I wish I could do different and make my team just that much more stable, I would say.
Yeah.
But everyone, let us know what you guys think about whose team was, on point, whose team you guys like the most, who's you least like the least, whether it be a computer or one of ours. But yeah, you got anything, Ray?
No, sir.
No. All right. With that,
only
guys,
a little bit longer till real football.
Kickoff September the 9th.
Only a little bit longer.
Right? Does that sound right, though? It is.
Yeah.
I believe the 9th is the first game. It's the Patriots and who? You don't know. You're just going to show up on Thursday and watch it?
Yep.
I agree with that. I can get behind that. Yeah, but football is right around the corner. We'll plan for what we're going to do next episode. I was going to say something, but we haven't really talked about it that much yet. But got any other news or notes? Anything you want to say?
Nope, that's it.
Cool. Well, as always, guys, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. I know we post every Tuesday when the videos come out live. If you could, please share that, get circulation going. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.